All right, and we're talking draft. Just concluded about 30 minutes ago, and now we're going to just do a quick run through snap grades, snap reaction, hot takes here on the League Pod. Let's get right into it. We'll start with the auto drafters, and legendary auto drafter taking 5th overall, and this draft was none other than Zaz himself. Can't say that this turned out any better this time around. He started out with a little promise and taking Josh Allen. That felt like a nice pick, but that was followed by Breece Hall in the 2nd round, which can't say inspires confidence. TJ Hawkinson in the 4th, which I know I laughed at during the draft, and I will continue to laugh at all season as long as he's rostered. I can say he's probably going to be on the trading block, almost an instant trade block type player for Team Zaz. 6 IDPs, oddly enough, not the highest IDP team in the league. I like Kincaid late on the Buffalo offense, and I question if Anthony Richardson can ball out this year. Could be interesting, could be something cool for him. Nonetheless, F is the grade. F is the grade. Failure to appear, failure to change the habits, but we'll see. We'll probably see him in the playoffs. Okay, now the semi-auto drafters. We have 2 7th overall Team XO, Dinsky. This wasn't as bad. I like Hurts and Diggs early. I question Najee Harris early in the offense, and then early in the round, and Judy in the 5th already being hurt. Again, that could come back. Those early picks could come back. IDP crept in. They also ended up with 6 IDPs, which not great. T. Higgins could be nice. Smith and Jigba could be nice once he gets healthy. Bryce Young in the 9th. That feels early. Feels really early. So, again, Ramondre is a really nice keeper, which I think offers some upside here. In the 10th, that's a great keeper pick. But I'm giving this one a D. This one is getting a D. And then moving up, 1st overall, the last of the semi-auto picks, Caleb and Porter and Caleb. Obviously, Jefferson 1-1 is great. Lamar could work at 212 on the turn. And then taking Taylor in the 3rd. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at Taylor in the 3rd. Hopefully he finds a resolution with Indy, or, he could end up in Miami. Hard to say where he's going to be, but that ankle feels like it just probably rehab isn't the answer, but more likely some money is the answer to get that ankle feeling right. And after the 3rd, it took a weird turn. I feel like Drake London and Kyle Pitts back-to-back on an Atlanta offense that's going to be run first, at least from what we think right now. It feels strange. I love Pitts. But he needs to prove he's worthy of a 5th round selection. And London in the 4th, I just feel like maybe there's better value there. I don't know. Pittman in the 6th, I like that pick. TBD on Richardson. And yeah, I feel like IDP is in the 7th. 7 IDPs. 7 IDPs from the number 1 slot. Just not good enough. I'm giving this one a D+ just because of the early picks, but not great out of the 1-1. Okay, moving on to the drafters. I'm going to do this from worst to first in terms of who I like the most. And I'm going to start with the champ. The first 5 picks are hard to argue with. Lamb, Barkley, Samuel, Herbert. Freiermuth, maybe, I guess you could argue with. But in the 6th, it takes a weird turn. I feel like, in my mind, Bulldog DeAndre Swift in a messy-ass Eagles backfield. Quentin Johnston, Treylon Burks, who's hurt, Gibson. These guys, I feel like, I don't know. It's a weird early middle draft area. So I ding the champ a little bit for that. And he's a dirtbag because he kept Deshaun Watson and drafted Deshaun Watson. Yeah, that's just a dirtbag move. I give this one a C. I give it a C, and I feel like that's being generous. Okay, Javi. Pick 3 at the 3 slot. Nice spot to pick from. I like it. And overall, I guess I like this draft. I have some issues that I'm going to point out, but grabbing Mahomes early, knowing how many people were auto-drafting, he wouldn't have gotten him coming back if that's who he really wanted, which he did. So Mahomes at 1-3, while early and a little bit rich for my blood, still, if he's the guy, he's the guy. Waddle, Jacobs. Jacobs got the contract. Waddle's going to be productive, so I love those first 3 picks. Where it gets a little funky for me is taking a backup quarterback in the 7th round, which feels early to me. I don't know, maybe he's banking on some sort of Pat Mahomes injury. And then, and from there, it ends up IDP in the 8th. And looking at the keepers here, I don't see a lot to go on, but that sort of middle area, I'm not as hype on. So this one to me is right in the low B, high C range. I would give this probably a C plus B minus, mostly because of the things that I mentioned. So number 4 slot is the next one on my list. This is my fiance, So Young Yim, the capybaras. And I feel like overall, again, like the draft, incredible value for CMC at 4, incredible value for Henry at 9. I question a little bit the Kittle pick, and that's just me personally. And then 2 Chargers after Keenan Allen, which I think was a good pick in the 3rd, grabbing Mike Williams in the 6th. Yeah, but great pick in Lockett, great pick in Kamara, nice pick in Jones in the 10th. Thielen and Flowers, 11, 12. Yeah, don't love those picks. And Elliott in the 13th, I also feel like could be a great keeper, could be a bust. We'll have to see how he works out in New England. But I give this like a solid B to B minus. I feel like it's a nice draft with a few questionable moves, but overall, nice draft. Aww. Okay, number 10. Who was it, the 10? Was that Poppy? Yeah, Poppy is number 10. I like this draft. I feel like it's solid. This is now a top 5 draft in the league. And I spoke to him briefly. He said he was going for wide receivers early, grabbing Brown and Brown, the law attorney Brown and Brown, Amon-Ra and A.J. Brown, both really nice picks. Andrews in the 3rd is basically where he's been going. If you can get him in the 3rd, I think people mostly would agree that's a great pick. Amari Cooper, Ayuk, both seem destined for a great year. First running back in the 6th round is probably my biggest gripe, but walking away with Akers, Cook, Charbonnet, Pirine, that's where the gamble takes place. They even got Addison in the 7th, which I feel like, him playing the Robin to Jefferson's Batman is nice. I don't know. I can't be mad at it. They already dropped their keeper. That happened right after the draft. That's hot news. No reason given as to why Jameson didn't work out. That's a developing story. Overall, I like this draft a lot. Solid B+. Nice work from Poppy. All right, next up is me. Gave myself the 4th best draft. I feel good about it. My Hill, Chubb, Burrow, Waller as my top 4, I feel like is really good. I'm obviously banking on Waller to have a good season and Burrow to be healthy. I think the top 2 are just great. Madison in the 5th as a starter on a good offense as the lead dog, and then moving into sort of those middle rounds. John Dotson, I think, is going to be great. Montgomery's going to get a lot of touches and a lot of work around the end zone. I think Zay Flowers and the new Baltimore offense could be fun. And then some upside darts. I already dropped A.J. Dillon. Opted to do that mostly because Tank Bigsby is a keeper, and I feel like they're both going to get goal line work, and I wanted to have him available as a keeper. And I added Jack Campbell, MAGA Jack Campbell from Detroit as a IDP. I'm happy with that. I give myself a B+, maybe even an A-. And I got a lot of the guys I was looking for. My keeper situation, I've got Laporta, 13th round, Russell Wilson, the ghost of Russell Wilson, maybe getting him back healthy under Sean Payton. Anyway, I like that. I like what I did. So I'm giving myself that grade. Yeah. Okay, Art, number 6 spot. Man, what a great first 5 picks. I loved this draft. I thought it was really good. Yeah, and you look at Kelsey in the 1st, it might be a little rich, but he wanted him. Devontae Adams in the 2nd, awesome. DK Metcalf, 3rd round, he got a homer guy for him. Aaron Jones in the 4th, Christian Watson in the 5th. Watson and Deontay Johnson, 5-6, you can question. Like, you don't know what Watson's going to be. He was awesome at the end of the year, but Romeo Doubs being healthy, Reed coming into the picture, who is Jordan Love going to pass to, all those things. And then Deontay Johnson, Mr. No Touchdown. You can question that stuff. Great pick with Cam Sutton in the 8th. Overall, you can't really, the Sutton and Geno, I think were both great value late. I give this draft an A-. Also the keeper pick, banging. Nice job. A- for Hart. Out of the 11th spot, Eric, number 2 draft for me. Great start. I question a little bit taking Ridley in the 4th and Evans in the 6th. mostly because we don't know what Ridley's going to be. He's been away from the game, and Evans has fucking Baker Mayfield throwing to him. So there's a few question marks here, but overall, Khalil Herbert, 9th round, Njoku, 8th round, Elijah Moore, 10th round, Rashad Penny, 11th round. There's just, hammering on value, and you've got some good keepers. I give it an A to an A minus. That's my second best draft for Eric. And best draft for me, and this was close, and this is all nuanced really in the top 3-4. Dave Cuccinello, Mr. Irrelevant, insane first 8 round. Eckler, Garrett Wilson, Jahmyr Gibbs. Hopkins may be questionable. Dallas in the 5th, solid tight end. Godwin in the 6th, Connor in the 7th. And then it goes to Michael Thomas, where, that falls off a little bit in my mind, but it's a gamble. David Carr could find some magic with him, and then going back, he got his man in Aaron Rodgers, being a big Jets homer. And the back half, I would say, is solid. Great keeper in Tua in the 15th. And so I'm not mad at this draft at all. I think it's just solid, really all around. And I give it an A. That's the quick draft recap. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to try and do this regularly, keep it short and sweet. And if you guys want to jump on and join me, I have this set up. Hopefully we can get some different people on here, get some people talking to one another, get me talking to you, all those things. Just doing all this for you guys, all the content, so that you guys can sit back and just enjoy. All right. I hope it's been enjoyable. Congrats on the draft. Congrats on getting the season started. Great to see those people that showed up on the Zoom. Zaz, great job auto drafting for, I think, a 10th consecutive year. You are a legend.